Hey folks, Jessica here. Hopefully this is the final Tower of Babel video. I wasn't gonna do another one, but then I saw that there is a strat going around where if you have a very specific weapon and Nier, as a dark player, you can clear floor 16 on Tower of Babel with just 2 characters and do the mission. I know, that sounds completely nuts. We'll get to that in a second. However, since we're talking about cheesy strats, people have still been asking about how to clear floor 12, Nature's Cradle. So there is a cheesy strat you can do that for that too, that I hadn't realized at first, and I should have, because it's real simple. So a lot of people are having trouble on this floor, recap, because they can't remove this buff. Defense is boosted. Ends upon taking 70 hits. Now, keep in mind, you can kill this boss with this shield up. A bunch of folks have mentioned in my comments that they managed to do that. It's going to be a slog, but you can do it. But the way you can guarantee remove this, no matter really what characters you have, as long as you have Bandit Tycoon unlocked, is Rupee Flip. So here's the thing. Rupee Flip has no cooldown if you not use this for Bandit Tycoon. So if you pick 1,000, you literally, you coin flick, you throw a coin at them. And that's one hit. And you can keep on doing it. And you see where this is going. You can do this up to 100 times. You only need to do it 70 times. So I'm not going to actually flip this thing 70 times because that's going to take like 5 minutes. But if you are really stuck on this fight and you don't have the right characters to clear 70 hits otherwise, then you can just blast this thing with rupee flips. You kill them with money. You'll love to see it. Okay, so let's talk about the floor 16 strat. Okay, clearing floor 16 with just 2 characters. Let's take a look at how you do that. So to no one's surprise, this is gonna be a dark strat, because you know how dark is. And yes, this is going in the Dark Doing Dark Things playlist. This is our team, and yeah, it's just Sage Jita and just Nier. And that is it. So how does this work? Well, remember that Nier has a passive, Death Reversed. One sub-ally. Only when main character's element is dark, so you have to be dark to do this. Undying effect to main character until end of turn when main character is not almost knocked out. So translation, because that's a little bit hard to understand. When Jita is 25% or more HP, an incoming attack will not kill her, no matter how hard it hits. It will only reduce her to 1 HP. Now that's nice, but it's normally, relatively speaking, fair and balanced, because the attack comes in, reduces you 1, and then it's going to be hard for you to routinely get above 25% HP, so you'll just probably die to the next attack that comes in. That's how it usually plays out. However, as you might expect, we're going to ensure that we can exploit that, because that's just how we roll in Dark. So, the thing that really enables this is Ouroboros Treat. So, you might be thinking, what is that thing? This is Halloween Cagliostro's weapon. And I am frankly extremely glad I did not reduce this. No, it's 0 stars. It was just sitting in my stash. Because when I saw the strat on my like a JP feed, I was like, did I reduce that? And just panic ran over here. But I did not reduce it, so that's why it's here. And the reason why this matters is Halloween Serpent. Create a green potion. Whenever you charge attack, you're going to get a green pot. And it's got other stuff on it. We don't care about any of that stuff. Additionally, we are taking Sage Jita, which is somewhat rare these days, especially in Dark. And the reason is Panacea and Chi Chandler, which I can't remember. Is that like the Samurai heal or something? I think it's from Samurai. I can't remember whose heal this comes from, but it comes from another class. But these 2 heals are very short cooldown. They're only 5-turn cooldown. I've seen people do this with just the Cure as well. The Alchemist heal as a 3rd heal. But I really need the Miserable Mist in order to push enough damage in the second boss. So I'm running just 2 heals. It's definitely more stable and safe with 3 heals, but 2 heals is actually fine. And then I'm taking Miserable Mist again to get enough damage to do in the second phase. The first boss is completely immune to this thing, so don't worry about there. And then this is a skill you might not have seen ever. Blessing 2. So it just does damage and Holy Spike effects. Holy Spike effect is this dot that does mind-blowing damage. Does 5,000 a turn. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. can't say that with a straight face. So I'm bringing this because a common problem with Sage, and this is no exception, is their EMP skills are just not great. Like, it's rare to take any of them. Veil is usually the one that gets taken. So you can only take 2 sub skills or 2 EMP skills. So you have to take some mix of 2 and 1 and 1 of the other. So that's why I'm taking Blessing, because I can't take another sub skill, which I would rather do. You might be looking at Dispel Deluge and be like, well, I thought Dispel was essential for that fight. It's essential if you're doing it the fair and balanced way, like a normal person, but if you're being a degenerate Dark Lord like myself, then no, you don't need that, because Dark don't play by the rules. So you might be thinking, okay, you got a couple heals, and you've got pots from Ouroboros Treat. How in the world is that going to be enough healing to keep you above 25% HP? Well, I'm also running Quillen Bow, 10% cut to dark HP, Cortana, which, again, lucky I didn't reduce this at some point or feed it something at some point, but that's also, like, I believe it's 10% cut to dark HP. Yeah, it is. And then I'm running freaking Belial, who, if you didn't know, is 30% cut to dark HP. And normally that's a significant downside of Belial, but not here. It's all upside, because we want our HP really low. Additionally, you note that I'm not running a Dark Opus weapon. I removed it because it has HP on it. The only weapon that has HP on it, in fact, is my staff. And we'll get to why I'm running this way later when we look at the fights. But basically, I needed some stamina, because the thing happens later, and Enmity basically turns off, and stamina turns fully on. You'll see. So I wanted a weapon with stamina just for some more damage. So yes, this does have HP, but I needed the extra damage, so that's why I decided to actually bring this thing. And yeah, I did change out the key specifically for that. All that combines to mean that I'm going to have very low HP in the fight, and you'll see in action in a second. And yes, if I had stamina weapons, I would run them here, because that it will work a lot better for the second phase. Or if I had, like, I've got 2 Dark Fallen Swords and a Sunya Heart, but I don't want to damn any of them, especially for the strat, so if those were fully uncapped, I'd definitely run them here. But they're not, so I didn't. And then summons. Might be a weird deck. I want Dark Angel Olivia, because she will not only delay the boss, especially the second boss, won't delay the first boss, but she's also 1-turn cut to dark skill cooldowns. So that's super handy, because I need those heals to come up fast, especially since I'm only running 2 of them. I'm running Grand Order Zoe, the summon, because her passive is 5% extra damage to non-elemental foes, so null element bosses, like these 2 are. And then this little goose? Hamsa. That's a goose, right? Hamsa, because Hamsa's call is sharp hit to attack and defense, which is very helpful for the second boss, because I need everything I can to push through damage. So that's what we've got. I'm going to take a Bahamut sub-summon, and then we'll just jump into the fight, and I'll talk you through it. Alright, we're in here, and we're really doing it. We're going to try and 1v1 the Cyclops. So first thing I'm going to need you to do is hit me. Come on. Hit me. You're gonna have to hit me harder than that. Stop trying to hit me and hit me. Come on. Give it everything you got. Nope, you're gonna have to hit me harder than that. So here's the thing. I'm going to 1 HP because Nier's love for Jita is undying. So I can't drop below 1 HP if I'm above 25% HP when the attack comes in, as I explained earlier. And that's how that works. So no matter how hard he hits me, I'm only going to go to 1, and I'm always healing above 25% HP. Now, an interesting thing happens here. He hit me 3 times, and that is interesting because typically, unless I'm mistaken, and it's been a while since I've looked into the nuances of them, but for effects like Unchallenged and Guts, a multi-hit usually does kill you, because the first hit, basically strips your defensive thing, and then the next hit will kill you, is usually how that goes. But for some reason, because Optical Wraith should definitely kill me, because that was like 10 hits. That was a lot of hits, way more than 1 hit. But Nier's Undying is a little bit different because it seems to ignore that, like how that normally works. It plays by different rules. I don't fully understand why it works differently. So if anyone knows, let me know down below because I'm curious about the mechanical reason why a multi-hit doesn't kill you. But that's why this works. Nier's love for Jita is just that strong. So you're looking at this and you're like, okay, she's got 2 heals and she's got some pots. She's gonna run out of pots, right? No, actually, I'm not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video, obviously. Here's the thing. The fact that this guy hits so hard with shit like Optical Rave, or when he's got Mass Confusion up, he triple attacks, actually plays right into Jita's hands. Jita's rope-a-doping this guy. The fact that he hits so hard means every time he goes to attack, unless it's a single attack, he's going to completely fill Jita's charge bar. So a single attack didn't fill it, but anything that's not a single attack will fill it. And that means any turn that he's doing more than a single attack, it's going to keep my potion level even, because that means I get hit, and then I pot, but I also get another pot back because my charge bar is full and I'm charge attacking. So that's how that works. And the fact that I've got 2 heals that are castable and Olivia cutting skill cooldowns means I am actually slightly ahead of the attrition rate on pots, and I'll actually end this fight with more pots than I started. Now, if you're running 3 heals instead of 2, then you're going to end way more pots. Like the first time I tried this with 3 heals, I actually ended up with like something like 30 pots almost by the end of this first fight. So that's how that works. So there's another interesting thing, because there's also plane damage that flies around. Like I think at 15%, there's a huge plane damage look. We'll look at that when it comes, but that's not going to be an issue either. So this guy using Mass Confusion, that's great. I want him to steroid himself because I want him to multi-attack to give me meter. All that stuff is good. In this scenario, normally that stuff you want to dispel it, but here I definitely don't want to dispel it. I want it. Give me all that shit. Also, the fact that I run Enmity in this setup actually works great, because Jita is so low HP on most turns that she's going to be doing full Enmity damage. And since there's only Jita to rely on here, you need to do as much damage as possible with Jita. And yes, all these heals are, like, my HP is finely tuned. That might be putting too fine a point on it, but my HP is tuned in order to be low enough that all my heals, no matter what they are, will always bring me above 25% HP. So while this looks super risky, it's actually as stable as could be, because everything's balanced exactly to make sure that I'm always above 25%. I'm going to speed this up because this is going to go on for quite a while. So you might be thinking, what can actually go wrong here? The big thing that can go wrong is me forgetting to heal and attacking. And when I was doing this the first few times, trying it out, I definitely ended a bunch of fights by just forgetting to heal on that turn, attacking, and then just facepalming hard. But yeah, we're just gonna blaze along here, and man, if fast forward didn't exist on Media Player Classic, this would be super annoying because this takes forever. But yeah, Dark, really fair and balanced element in this very fair and balanced game called Granblue Fantasy. This seems balanced. This is fine. Yeah, Jita just can't really die as long as I heal her every turn. I can continue this loop essentially forever until I forget to heal. So yeah, Visaraga, Visa who? More like Visa Jita. She can do it. She just can't die. So yeah, only thing here is just pushing damage to make this go faster. Like, there's not really any danger of dying as long as I don't mess up. Overall, and this is going to be a little bit like chats with Jessica, because there's going to be a lot of just this going on forever. So we can talk. Overall, this event, I really like it. Like, I know some people are looking at this and they're like, Dark is bullshit, man. I can't believe they let Dark get away with this stuff. Side Games needs to do something with Dark. I actually think that this is fine. I think this is really fun, because it does require very specific items. It's not like any Dark player can pull this off. You need Nier, you need Ouroboros Treat, you need to know how this works, you need to be able to fine-tune your HP. And as you'll see in the second fight, It's not actually as easy as it seems when we get to that second fight. And I don't know, frankly, I really enjoy the fact that people are big braining these fights. Like, there's some galaxy brain strats out there. I've seen a few comments actually talking about various other strats for clearing this besides Twayan, the normal paralyzed strat. I'm gonna say that the paralyzed strat with Twayan song is probably the standard for like how you would clear this, but there are some other ways you can do it. I demonstrated the Twayan paralyzed version, by the way, in another video, if you're wondering what I'm talking about. But yeah, the other strats I've heard are, I've heard some people do it with Light, with Geisenborger and Funf, and just treating it like Lucilius HL solo, and that sounds legit, but you need those characters. Hang on. I want to slow this down when we get to 15%, because that's where the plane damage comes out. I mean, not much danger blowing past 15%. Okay, so that's 16. Okay, so GJ just taking it like a champ. So we're going to push into 15%, and there's a trigger at 15%. I talked about this in my other video. It's a really rough trigger. Disorder. 40,800 plane damage twice. That's why getting through this with no one dying, doing it a normal way, is quite difficult. That's why in my Twayan video, I actually did it by getting to like 18% and then just using IO nukes and, you know, chaining her Flowery 7. Yeah, just watch a video if you want to know how that works. To nuke it all the way down from 18% to 0, so just skip that trigger entirely. You do have to solve that if you're trying to do this, and I think if you're doing this a normal way, that's going to be a part that kills a lot of people. It's not going to wipe your party, but if that hits a person, like one character, that character's very likely dead, because that is plane damage. Okay, let's just speed through the last part of this fight. Hang on. Nice optical rave. Don't care. Okay, so we're about to end this idiot, and we ended this fight. We had 12 pots there, so I guess we're gonna end like on 12 because I'm about to charge tack. So yeah, we ended positive on pots. We started with 2 pots, and now we're at 12. So net gain. And this should kill it. Thanks for coming, Baka. I become an anime mean girl when I'm cocky. Okay, this Chaos Creeper. So a few things to note here. First thing is, it is completely immune, not completely immune, opposite immune. It is completely vulnerable to pretty much all debuffs, except for insta-death. So that's why we can slap Mist on the Hamsa attack and defense down. And that's why we're bringing the summons we are bringing, because they're going to be helpful here, because we need to push damage. For the first part of this fight, it's going to progress very similarly to the Cyclops that we just beat up. But there's a few interesting things that are going to go on here that are a little bit different. So let me speed up a second. And this fight is way harder. And the reason it's harder, actually, here, I'll just pause a second, or I'll play it normal, see a second. That charge attack just healed them for 3 million. So the thing is, when he's in normal mode, he uses that charge attack every time in order to heal. He won't use it when he is in overdrive or in break, but in normal he does use that quite often. And if you don't push enough damage, you're actually never going to outpace the healing he does. There was an early, like I tried this I tried this part of the fight like 3 times, and like the first and second time I just couldn't outpace the healing. There's one attempt where I just let it run on full auto, and it just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and he just sat on 70% health because I would damage him down, he would heal up, I'd damage down, he'd heal up, and that's the thing that happened. Other interesting note, he just used that charge attack, lowered my maximum HP. So your first thought might be, ruh-roh, that's going to be a problem. Well, it's going to have an interesting effect. but actually, it's gonna do something really cool, and the game's gonna actually break. Like, I think that's the only way to phrase it. The game will break at a certain point because this boss is reducing my max HP. But that max HP reduction attack happens every 6 turns, and he will do that instead of doing the heal. So in normal mode, you still can make progress. You've just got to do more damage than he heals in the cycle of like 6 turns. If you can't do that though, that's going to be a major issue, because you're not going to be able to actually outpace the heal at any point, because you just don't do a lot of damage. You've got one character, literally. And you're not going to do a lot of damage for a couple other reasons that we'll talk about in a second. So let's speed up. So yeah, this is not as easy as it would initially seem. But you're just going to continue to reduce my HP as this goes. But again, he's playing right into our hands. We saw this coming. We Galaxy Brain up in here. So another thing he does, though, is he's going to reduce my attack and defense, further reducing my overall output. So these are all issues if you're trying to clear this thing via this strat. What a jerk. Another heal. So my recording actually freezes at some point here. I don't know why. It's a little concerning, but it's not that big a deal because it's only for like a minute, and we'll just fast forward past it. There we go. Interesting thing to remember here, though. Again, most of this guy's charge attacks are plane damage. That's why doing this a legit way is a little bit tricky. Here, let's fast forward, though, because there's an interesting thing that's about to happen. So, you might notice my HP is rather low. It's at like 1500, even though I just like healed and potted myself. And that's because this guy's lowering my max HP. Oh, by the way, the thing he's going to do here, super annoying. And it's one of the tricky bits, Chaos Debris. Chaos Debris lowers my attack and defense, stacking attack and defense down. And it's permanent. You can't remove it. So that's part of the reason why pushing enough damage is actually more of an issue than you might think for this fight. But yeah, on the HP thing, I think he does it now. Chaotic Promulgation? Next turn. Here. And Chaotic Promulgation is annoying because it's lowering my HP. However, you're probably wondering, well, what happens if it keeps on going down? Is that going to be an issue? Well, you'll see. But look at how low it is. I just potted. I'm at half health. And I'm at 749. Jita's max health right now is about 1500. HP is for cowards. Who needs HP? Not Jita. Not Dark Jita. Jita cares not for such things as HP. But it's going to keep on doing that. So what happens? Well, let's fast forward again and see. Now, the Chaos Debris, super annoying. Like, I really mean it. You'll see that my HP starts slowing down a lot from all that shit stacking. That's why I really needed to bring the Mist, even though it's a bit of a riskier play to bring Mist. And it's why I'm using the summons manually. I would have loved to be able to just full auto this, and if I was running like a progression grid, like a grid with progression weapons and stamina weapons, I probably could full auto it. Chaotic Promulgation. Okay, watch my HP. What just happened there? It went to 1, it was red, and then it turned green. What happened was he just lowered my HP to my maximum HP to 1. Jita's maximum HP is 1 right now. What does that mean? Isn't that a problem? Is she going to die from this next attack? No. Notice her HP didn't move at all. Jita has ascended beyond the realm of mortals. Jita is beyond such concerns like health and damage. This fool has made Jita more powerful than anyone could possibly imagine. She literally can't die now. This is Ultra Instinct Jita. This is what it means to go even further beyond. This is what peak performance looks like. Jita can't die. So what's going on here? Well, the game broke is what's going on here. Here's the thing. Remember how Nier works. If you're 25% or higher HP, you won't die from an attack. You'll get reduced to 1. However, if your maximum HP is 1, if you are at 1, you're at 25% or above HP. So when an attack comes in for 9 trillion damage, it's gonna not do anything because she can't get dropped below 1 because she's at 25% or above. That is the power of Nier's undying love for Jita. Love conquers all, including death, apparently, because Jita just can't die right now. I mean it. It just tried to lower my HP again. It can't lower my HP again because it's already at minimum. Jita freaking is completely invincible. Like, I didn't realize this would happen. I assumed I'd just keep healing all the way through. But when this happened, it was like mind blown. Which is why I find this strategy so interesting. Because there's just so many weird mechanical things going on. So, honestly, here, I'm going to put on fast forward and we'll have nice chats. It'll be like, you know, a vlog or something. Just hang out with Jessica time because at this point, it can't kill me. There's, like, no risk involved anymore in this strat. There's nothing it can do to kill me. The only way this could go wrong is if I run out of time. And we've got an hour and 16 minutes, so I don't think we're going to run out of time. Because while we're progressing slowly, we are still progressing. There is an issue here, though. I'm at maximum HP right now. And I'm also running enmity weapons. And that's not good, because that means my enmity is having 0 effect. Because while I'm on 1 HP, which is normally the enmity dream, 1 HP is maximum HP, so my enemy is completely turned off. It's just not good right now. So that's why if you were stamina, you would be having a ball right now, because you're going to be maximum stamina bonus every turn. Similarly, if you had progression weapons like Sunya, you'd be doing great, because we're on turn 147. So your progression would have turned on like 127 turns ago all the way. So yeah, it's pretty spicy. Pretty spicy. So the rest of this fight is going to be me kind of edging forward and it healing. Basically, I'll do like 3% damage to it, it will heal 2%. I'll do 3% damage to it, it will heal 2%. But remember, it won't... can I speed this up anymore? It won't... We're just trying to get through this faster. It won't heal... it won't use the healing charge attack if it's in overdrive. And it won't use the healing charge attack if it's in break. So those are my chances to make a lot of progress on health. Just gotta get into overdrive and then break. Similarly, every 6 turns it uses chaotic promulgation, even though that does nothing to me right now. Not that anything is doing anything to me right now. So it uses that instead of using its healing charge attack. So every 6 turns, I get about 6 turns worth of time to make forward progress. So as long as you can make forward progress in that time, then you're golden. You can just slowly grind this out. In order for me to make forward progress, though, I do have to manually play this. If you were like if you had progression weapons and like stamina, you could probably just full auto this and like go make some coffee while this plays out. But me, I gotta actually play it out. And yes, this does take forever. Like, trust me, I was there. So, but it is about to go in overdrive, and then we'll start actually making some decent progress. So, as I was saying a while back, seemingly an eternity ago, like about 100 turns ago, some people were commenting about other strats people have been using for clearing this fight. And I think that the most legit standard way is probably going to be just using Para and Twain. However, some folks have also done it using like Geisenborger and Funf and just treating it like a Lucilius THL solo, one of the early ones, which totally legit as well. Additionally, this one's going to require you to be really juiced up in Earth, like be very strong in Earth. But apparently, you can also just nuke this boss down completely using like Lobelia and then like Soriz and Pengi, any of the characters that like spam skills, because Lobelia basically auto nukes when you use skills. It's like in some ways, it's kind of like a super juiced up version of IO. Not exactly, but that's the basic idea. It's funny because one of my friends said to me, "Oh, this fight is easy peasy in Earth," and I'm like, "Is it though?" Because you literally have an Earth Hercules. So I don't know if that's a fair comparison. So yes, if you're super amped up in Earth, like my friend, then you can probably do it that way. You know, if you're one of like 2 people that have an Earth Hercules, that's a strat. Another one I've heard about, I don't know all the details of how it works, but essentially you use like Neo, the Eternal, and use her Comatose with a few Quillins, and you chain them as like a pseudo paralyze. I don't know the full details. You can probably look it up and find a video or something, but that sounds super risky because Comatose is a bit RNG because it has a chance to wear off on damage. So I'm not sure how reliable that is, but that is another way people have apparently cleared this. And then there's the paralyzed way over Twain. Additionally, I did in fact see somebody doing this, the very like the back to basics method, the all about the fundamentals method, where they just use a team that had like 60k plus like 80k HP, 60 80k HP, a lot of HP, and played it like a standard hard fight where they're just making sure everyone was getting healed constantly and trying to keep everyone very safe and above the range where plane damage could kill them. And I guess you could do that if you're boring. No, I'm just kidding. The standard way is totally legit, but it's actually kind of... That's going to be difficult for a lot of people to get that much HP and then still also be able to do reasonable damage to kill this thing. It's the main issue with that strat. I actually think doing it that way is going to be harder in a lot of ways than relying on something like Para. Anyways, we are slowly winding down last part of this fight. Like I said, if you think this is going on forever, you should have been there. Can't remember how many potions we have at this point. We'll do a potion count towards the end, I believe. We're in turn 228, by the way. 228. I am legitimately curious if there is a cap on the number of potions you can get, or the cap on number of turns you can take. Oh, also interesting thing, I don't know exactly why this is happening, but you note no matter what happens, Jita is full charge bar. Like, I'm literally charge attacking every single turn. Even though this thing's only single attacking me, it's not like multi-attacking me. I don't fully understand why that's happening, but I think it's something like I'm getting a bonus to charge bar gain based on how low my HP is. I think that's what's going on, but I don't know. If someone knows why that's happening, you let me know down below. But I think it's something like I'm only on 1 HP, so therefore I'm getting a super high bonus on the amount of charge bar I gain from each attack. That's my guess, but again, not really sure what's happening. But yeah, that does mean Jita is charge attacking every single turn. Like, Ouroboros Treat is doing some work here. This guy, you can really notice my damage start slowing down when this guy is not in overdrive or break. It just becomes a huge slog. He's about to go into overdrive though, so it will go faster. Oh man, I'm just looking at this like memories. I need to do my Honkai 3rd Impact dailies again. I really like that game. I've been playing it a lot on Global. If you are a Honkai 3rd Impact player, hit me up. We can hang out or something. Because that game is interesting. It's got like raids and stuff. It's like a brawler, action RPG, fighting game style game that's gacha and mobile. That's super anime. It's quite cool. I like it. Okay, we're getting towards the end, so I will slow this down in a second. Okay, so back to normal speed while we finish this out. Yeah. Dark doing dark things. Seems fair and balanced. So we will do a potion check before the end. I remember, I think I might do one right now. Let's see. Maybe next turn. This really did start glomming together at some point. And I'm glad that Jita has ascended beyond the Mortal Coil, because I'm sure I would have forgot to heal at some point if I actually had to do this legit. So we're 45 minutes of the fight. We have 151 potions. So yes, this took 45 minutes. And I charge attack like something like 140 times just this fight. Vanish into darkness. It's over. And that's the fight. I'll meet you on the other side of the cut. We can talk conclusions. Okay, conclusions. That was a wild ride. Once again, here's what I was running. It's Sage Vegeta and Nier, and that's it. There's the grid. There's the summons, and yes, again, the most important part of this, besides Nier, is going to be Ouroboros Treat, Halloween Kag's weapon, because it makes potions. So, what do I think of this event and this fight? Or the strat, I guess, more specifically. I really like this event. And I know some people are probably very annoyed at this very moment that Dark can pull off something really unexpected like this. But honestly, that's part of why I really enjoy this event. Like, it has encouraged people to experiment and try some galaxy brain strats in order to clear it. And, like, I had no idea what would happen if you continue to stack max HP down on Vegeta with a Nier in the back row until now. And the result is frankly fascinating, that Vegeta just ascends in, like, she just goes Ultra Instinct and can't die. It's very mechanically cool. So, like, the fact that this event encourages people to just go super big brain and try and think of new strats, I think it's good. I think it's good. Like, it's an interesting new play space. And, frankly, more of that is good, because otherwise the game will grow stagnant. I know some people are really frustrated with this event, and I think that's fair, because they're just having a lot of trouble progressing. And if that's you, I understand where you're coming from. Here's the thing, though. The event will come back at some point. So when it comes back, yeah, there'll be new floors, but I would imagine you'll still be able to do the old floors. So look at this as an incentive to grow stronger, so you can clear these floors next time. And if you work from now until the next time Proving Grounds come back at improving your grid, your roster, your understanding of the game, you'll very likely be able to clear the stuff that you couldn't clear before. It's like that movie 13th Warrior, if you've ever seen that. And I'm gonna misquote the scene because it's been ages. But there's a scene where Antonio Banderas is trying to learn how to use a sword, and he's complaining to, like, his Viking teacher about it, about the sword being too heavy, and the Vikings just, like, then grow stronger. So there you go. Grow stronger. It's your incentive to become more powerful in the game. And also, full perspective. There's not a lot of events that come out that are specifically geared towards endgame players. It's really rare. Like, Proving Grounds, I think, is the only other event that comes out regularly that is for endgame players. Most other events are just story and, like, you know, fun stuff to grind for a little bit. So I think it's good to have a mix of both types of content. So I appreciate this coming out. I think it was very fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed these series of videos, and yeah, if you have any thoughts about this, if you think it's super annoying that Dark can do more Dark things like this, let me know down below. And yeah, all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!